Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Legacy project video. Now today we're going to be starting a new project. It's going to be a student desk, a table. It's a small one, about 2 foot by 4 foot student desk laid out by Andy. Now today we're going to be focusing on this, the actual table legs themselves. We're going to produce 4 of these, and they have some pretty cool joinery that's going to take place with those. So come follow me and let's head on over to the Maverick 4x4 CNC system and walk through how to make these parts. While producing these table legs, I'm going to break down some of the choices that I made. Hopefully you walk away from this having learned something new. Now if you've seen my past videos, I'm going to be using very similar techniques to what I've already been doing in other projects. For example, when I'm mounting hardwood components to my flat horizontal table, my favorite table fixture is the T-slot table using the Legacy Low Pro clamps. And these make it really easy to square up my part and clamp my part in place exactly where it needs to be every single time, and it's really fast to get that blank in and out of the system. These clamps are available for other CNC machines, so feel free to reach out and contact us if that's something you're interested in. Now because we're going to use the CNC to cut out the shape of the part, I like to oversize my blank. That way I have plenty of clearance between my cutters and my clamping fixtures. If possible, I like to nest out multiple parts out of a single blank. In the end, I'm wasting less material and I don't have to prep as many blanks for the CNC machine. Let's point out some cutting strategies that I'm using here. The first one is I'm conventional cutting, also known as undercutting, around the entire perimeter of each part. I found if you're cutting out your parts and you don't have any exposed edges, conventional cutting actually minimizes the tear out you will have on your edges. Whereas that's the opposite if you do have any exposed edges that need to be machined. In those scenarios, I switch to a climb mill cutting strategy, and again, that minimizes the tear out in those situations. Now this material has been surfaced down to 1.25 inches thick, so I decided to use a 3/8 down spiral cutter. It minimizes my tool deflection because it's a little bit thicker in diameter, and I get a little bit longer cut depth with that larger tool. Here's the cutting parameters I was using really quick. Now in other project videos, I've also shown and explained how you can get away with no tabs if the part is thick enough. For these table legs, I wanted to experiment with another cutting strategy. So I decided to put tabs into these parts. That way they don't have any chance of shifting as I'm trying this other cutting strategy. There are 2 types of tabs that you can use. A flat tab where the cutter just lifts straight up and then repositions and comes back down. But I personally like what is called the 3D tab, where it's actually a ramp up to a point and then ramps back down to the cut depth, leaving a triangular shaped tab. Now the reason I like that one is because the cutter doesn't stop to lift up the tool, and it doesn't leave those dwell marks that you get when you stop the X and Y motion to lift and lower the tool. Now let me explain this other cutting strategy that I said I wanted to try. And this is called the allowance last pass technique. This last pass allowance automatically shifts all of the first cut depths away from the edge of the part by whatever allowance we choose. In this case, I chose 5 thousandths, 0.005 inches. And so the last pass is going to shift back 5 thousandths of an inch to the edge of the line. That way the cutter is in contact with the entire edge of the part, and it cleans up all of those past depth cut marks along the edge of the part. Here's an example of those tool marks if you're not using a last pass allowance. This is just cutting along the same edge, going at different depths, and it leaves those little micro shoulders that need to be sanded out. For this cutting strategy to work, I needed to ensure the part wasn't going to move or shift while we were cutting that final pass. But that also means we have to clean up those tabs, and I like to do this quickly on a bandsaw and using a flush trim router. Now as I mentioned before, the student desk is themed after Andy's barstool. And so these table legs are going to have a similar design to them, and we're going to be implementing the iso-lock joinery that was also used in the barstool. This type of joint will also make it so I don't have to reposition the part to add the joinery later. Now we'd love to hear your opinion about these iso-lock joints. So would you apply this to your CNC projects? You know, how strong do you think these would really be? It'd be interesting to actually put some stress test on these to find out what the limitations would be. So leave your thoughts and ideas right down below in the comment section. Now, in an upcoming video, we're going to be producing the upper and lower cross-section supports that connect to the table legs themselves. So stay tuned for that next video. If you're interested in learning more about a Legacy CNC machine, I recommend you visit our website at legacywoodworking.com. There you'll find a pile of information pertaining to those CNC products. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.